Right behind me, Akerselva flows and cascades from its source Nydalsveien around 150 meters above sea level, 9.8 kilometers before it meets the Oslo fjord in Bjørvika. Akerselva was the source of the Industrial Revolution in Oslo, its numerous waterfalls powering the factories along its steep banks. It also manifests the divide between east and west in Oslo, but that's another topic. The biggest factory was located here, in Nydalen, straddling both shores of the river, Nydalsveien, established back in 1853. Some of the factory halls are still standing, housing activities very different from those of yesteryears. In 1941, a new building to house the factory's administration was completed. The building was of a rather modest height of around 17 meters and just 3 floors tall, but with a quite decent floor plate height of around 3 meters. The building was designed by Henrik Nissen Jr and Gunnar Brynning in a sort of stripped-down Art Deco style. Besides this building and some other industry-related projects, Nissen and Brynning is mostly known for mountain lodges designed for the Norske Turistforening, the Norwegian Trekking Association. During the post-war era, Nydalsveien went through a massive expansion and at its peak had around 1,450 local employees, as well as many more around the country. This called for additional office space as well. And in 1961 the building was expanded with a new 5-story wing by the same architectural firm, although Henrik Nissen had passed away by now. Just 10 years later, in 1971, the building was again expanded, this time with 7 additional office floors and a technical penthouse on top of the newest wing, bringing the total number of floors up to 12 and the total height to 49.5 meters to the top of the chimney stack. For a variety of reasons that I won't discuss here, as this is high-rise explained and not all industry explained. Well, sometimes it is a little bit. Production eventually ceased during the late 1980s and 90s, and the former industrial buildings and land was sold off to investors and real estate developers. Under the supervision of Kleiven Arkitekter on behalf of Avantor, the building underwent a major renovation and expansion in 1997. Giving the building a sort of postmodern expression, with the addition of 2 more wings and a glass atrium in the middle. The only thing that I can see that remains of the 1941 building is this balcony on the southeast corner. The latest major renovation was in 2015, and today the building has 13 floors and a height of 44.15 meters. The building has a gross floor area of 22,500 square meters and is simply known by its street name Nydalsveien 28. It mostly houses offices of various kind and Fangene på fortet, a local kind of escape room. Right across the river from this monument over Nydalen's changing history, as a sort of cherry on top or the grand finale of the transformation of Nydalen from heavy industry to a modern tech, mass media and knowledge-based hub, the 3rd tallest building in Oslo was completed in December 2023. And I know that I announced a little while back a new skyscraper for Oslo that will become the 3rd tallest building, but that one hasn't started construction yet. Anyway, construction started officially on June the 30th, 2021, but plans for a high-rise on this site dates back quite a few years. The first version was approved by the City Council in 2009, after many years in the works, and was designed by Henrik Nissen Arkitekter. This project was named Signalbygget and consisted of a podium building with 3 floors containing retail and office uses. On top, a needle tower with a floor plate area of just 125 square meters, measuring 16 by 9 meters, would rise. The 21 upper floors would have 1 residential unit each. The total height of this 24-floor building would be somewhere about 76 meters or 250 feet, with a total floor area of around 3,500 square meters. This proposal was, of course, met with massive protests from the neighbors, and not neighbors in the sense that they were directly affected by the proposals, as there were no other residential buildings in the vicinity at the time. These neighbors were living further up in the hillside and was not thrilled to get their quite stunning views over the Oslo Amphi altered, or destroyed as they called it. Constructing a building this tall is expensive, and even at the best of times the economy in the project was marginal. Avantor, the company in charge of the Nydalen development, stated that they didn't expect to make much money, if any at all, on this particular building. With ever-rising construction costs, the building eventually ending up with a price tag more than double of what the vendor expected to earn, the plans were eventually cancelled in 2015. Controversial new buildings get a lot of attention, and by default tall buildings are controversial. So Vertikal Nydalen has been given its shares of news articles. Since the journalists are lazy people. Yes, that's what journalists says every time I've been to a media training session. They have misinterpreted the blueprints and report that the building is 65 meters tall. But that is the height from ground level to the top of the railing above the 18th floor. The actual height is measured to the top of the solar panel deck, or to the top of the elevator penthouse. And by that measure, the building is 69.79 meters tall. The morale of this story is to not trust journalists, but me, your friendly high-res nerd and random person on YouTube. The building has a total floor area of around 10,760 square meters, so quite a bit more than the earlier proposal. On the first and second floor there is a canteen or personnel restaurant and conference space for the offices that occupy floor 3 through 7. The first floor also houses a restaurant open to the public. From floor 8 and up, the building is residential with a total of 40 apartments, ranging in size from 44 to 143 square meters. Due to the odd shape of the tower, not two apartments looks the same. The residents have access to rooftop terraces on top of the 7th and 18th floor. The office floors have an interior ceiling height of 3.42 meters and the residential floors 3.06 meters. The one basement floor provides parking for around 140 bikes, but no car parking. Since the metro station is just across the square, getting around for your everyday needs should be not very hard. If needed, the residents can hire parking in an adjacent parkade. The building is clad in wood, a material increasingly popular in high-rise construction over the last few years, both for aesthetic reasons but also due to its much lower carbon footprint compared to other industrial materials. Among other green features, we have the before-mentioned solar panels on the top of the building, geothermal wells for heating and cooling. According to the developer Stille Vantor, the building is self-sufficient with power for heating, cooling and ventilation. That last part is because the ventilation system has no fans or anything like that, just computer-controlled air hatches that open and close as needed. The building is designed by Snøhetta, arguably the most internationally known architectural firm from Norway. Among its more well-known projects we find the Bibliotheca Alexandrina, the new library of Alexandria, Egypt. The Oslo Opera House, that in record time became the most visited attraction in Oslo, with close to 2 million visitors annually. And the transformation of Times Square in New York, from an overcrowded intersection to more of a, square. Still overcrowded though, and full of Elmos. The building was constructed by Skanska, the Scandinavian construction giant. Thank you so much for watching. If you found this video entertaining or educational, not slightly annoying, or at least a worthwhile waste of time, please consider subscribing and or giving the video a thumbs up. And follow me on Instagram at @HarrisExplained for some additional content. If you are a professional in the construction industry, have access to a high-rise or a great view to one, or if you think you can contribute to this project in any way, feel free to contact me. Again, thank you so much for watching, and you'll see me again in a later video.